And good evening, one, good evening, all. Welcome back to another episode live and exclusive to YouTube. I am your host, Swishbone, for the remainder of the evening. Now, for those of you who have never been to this channel before, usually we play games blind for the first time, but this is a classic racing game I played many years ago when I was back in my college university days, and I'm reliving the glory of the PS2 with this wonderful, quirky jazz soundtrack. Bill Bailey, eat your heart out. For those of you who have been here before, whether you watch me like grind through all the 1,000 miles in my Jag here on GT4, maybe you watch me get my butt absolutely kicked in Shin Megami Tensei 4 in the opening dungeon, maybe you watch me play through all the Danganronpa, all the Persona games I played, the weird streams like Doki Doki Literature Club and the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, or even some of the classic streams like Forza 4 and Final Fantasy 7. Either way, a huge welcome back to all of you, and that includes you, Joe, jumping in with the real driving simulator. How real it is up to you, the beholder, and everything's going quite well. Good evening to you. And also, happy Wednesday to you, Avian. Yeah, it is that midpoint of the week, so we're at that lull where we just want to motor on towards the weekend. But still, hopefully I can put a spring in your step with a little bit of racing. So, we're going to carry on playing through the real circuit tours. We did the first race on this when we decided to take on, in the Nissan R90 CP, we took on the race at the Circuit de la Sarthe. So let's start by staying in Japan with this one. We are going to be playing at Suzuka. Ooh, 6 laps. I might have to go hard and super hard for this. I get the feeling the tyres won't last very long at this circuit. And speaking of all things Gran Turismo, though, I mean, obviously, I've said before how I've got my grievances towards the new entry on the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. That is the Gran Turismo 7. They've got an update coming later this week, and I'm perplexed by it. They have a new Toyota like GR3, it's kind of like a GT car coming. But they're also bringing, according to the silhouettes, this hasn't officially been confirmed, a Toyota Hi-Ace ambulance. I mean, this game has the patent Motorwagen from the 1800s and the Ford Model T Toro, so it's not exactly out of character. But of all the cars to put in, your big update to say, here, check out our game, we're going to let you drive ambulance. Maybe they'll put like some special new checkpoint missions where you're an EMT trying to get through Tokyo and rescue people or something, I don't know. Maybe Atlas have linked up with them to bring back a spiritual successor to Trauma Center or something, who knows. So yeah, so Kazunori Yamauchi, in a case of I'm on far too many drugs that no one understands, is bringing an ambulance to the modern Gran Turismo game. Oops, sorry Mr. Mercedes driver, I didn't mean to do that. I was too busy quirking over the upcoming update to pay attention to where I was, and I'm off. I'm off a long way off the circuit. That is a long way off. And yet, amazingly, I'm still not in last. Okay, let's try that again. Let's actually try sticking to the formula this time. Round the outside at Dunlop, you don't normally see an overtake there. But then again, you normally don't see a classic Group C car up against a Mazda RX-7 like GT car, really. So it's not very fair. You can definitely feel where these super hard tyres are not biting the circuit. They're nowhere near as grippy. Oh, that was a bad idea. I attempted to drive around the inside of Spoon and I completely made a hash of it. Apologies to my Nissan brother there. I'm driving this like I'm in GT7 Sport mode. I'm trying to get a D Sportsman ranking. See, I managed to spin out on a straight. I am absolutely all over the place tonight. No, I've not been drinking, apart from coffee and smoothies. Very true, actually, Joe. Yes, we have no F1 now for the next month. We don't even have any Formula E either. We've got literally nothing, unless the World Endurance has a race, but I don't think they do. So I think we are literally all raced out now for the next, as you say, the next month. And the next month, of course, is a race at the Zandvoort even, in Amsterdam, where no doubt I'm expecting Red Bull to go burr and take the victory, but you never know. It might be a track that suits McLaren, that being more high-speed corners. McLaren might pull a surprise. Can't see it though personally. I'll do a massive shout actually to Lando Norris from Spa actually. His car looked absolutely awful in the first stint of that race, and somehow he dragged it into the points. Unlike me at the moment. Do you actually watch MotoGP, Joe? I'm not really a fan of bikes. I've never quite got into bike racing. Despite how close it is and everything else, I just don't find it that interesting to watch. I don't know if touring cars might be on possibly. Sometimes touring cars will be on the networks as well. British touring cars. That's always good for a laugh. Especially with some of the support races that appear. The likes of the Ginetta Juniors and the F4. I remember watching MotoGP a long time ago when you had the likes of Casey Stoner and James Toseland and what's it called, Valentino Rossi and oh god, what's his name? Jorge Summit, can't remember his name. You're more a bike guy than cars, are you, Joe? So are you one of the few people who actually played the Gran Turismo spin-off game, which was a bike game? Can't remember what it was called, but it was in the PS2 era. There was like a motorbike game made by Polyphony, and it actually looked kind of interesting. I've never played it though, because I never saw it. Can't remember what it was called though. That's it, Jorge Lorenzo. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But saying, my stepdad was a big bikes guy. One of the few things that I could do with my stepdad was watch racing. We didn't get on very well. Well, I heard it's interesting you mentioned there was like GT4 with bikes. Apparently, it was either a GTHD Future project or GT5 Early. That's it, Tourist Trophy, that's what it's called. Apparently, there was going to be experimental for doing cars versus bikes, kind of like in Project Gotham Racing. But unfortunately, I don't think it actually emerged. I don't think they actually got it working. From what I understand, according to GT Planet, there was like a beta where the car sent a rider flying from its bike, and because of the obvious implications, they decided to abort it, which is, you know, understandable, but at the same time a shame, because obviously bike riders do go down because, well, you're not in a monocoque, are you? You literally are on your bike. So if you get a low side or a high side, you're going off your bike. Yes. I just mentioned some bike terminology and I'm not a bikes guy. Shock horror. My only real experience of bike games was Road Rash. And I'm going to have to redo this race. I've completely screwed this up. Meanwhile, good evening to you. I just seen you in there. You ordered a ticket for Popcorn Comic Con. Popcorn Comic Con. Interesting name. Where's that taking place? I've never heard of that before. Popcorn Comic Con. Interesting. Meanwhile, Exeter Queen also jumping in there saying, hello, good evening to you. How are you doing? It's been a while since I've seen you knocking around. How you been keeping yourself going? Hope everything's going okay for you. So far, I'm doing rather poorly in this race, so I'm going to have to redo it, I think, which is annoying. Unless I get very lucky in the next 3 laps. Yeah, it's Joe, the closest I've come to a bike is I did once have a ride on the back of someone's 125cc, and that's not very much, that's like a very junior bike. But I could definitely feel the difference in going out of a corner with a bike. The acceleration was just insane. If you want to like experience going fast very quickly, a bike is a good way to do it. Of course, you get it wrong on a bike, you're going to get very, very hurt. Oh, nice, it's at the Magnus Centre in Sheffield. Is it kind of like the replacement for, what was it called? Yorkshire Comic Con? That's pretty awesome if that's the case. Ah, you're tired from your holiday in Blackpool. Did you check out Arcade Club or anything like that while you were there? I think I saw one photo of you actually, Exeter. It looks amazing. I'm back in Blackpool at the beginning of October because I'm going to be at Play Expo. I'm going to be up there. The gaming weekend held at Norbrook Castle. I'll be there for the weekend. I'm currently training to try and get into one of my cosplays I want to wear for it. So I've got a cosplay that doesn't quite zip up at the back. And I'd love to wear it, but if I can't get it to fit me, it's not going to happen. And hopefully you had the weather as well, because it's turned really badly, hasn't it, all of a sudden? Being on the seafront with a wind blowing through it, quite nasty. I've been there in February watching the rallying, getting absolutely soaked. Great fun, but getting soaked. Oh, I'm going to have to redo this race. I have completely balls this up. Consider this me getting my eye in, people. Translation. This is me being a scrub and getting it wrong. So, since we're going to be redoing this race, I'll do a very, very small update. I'm going to be moving the next stream back to Saturday. It was originally meant to be on Friday, but unfortunately I've got a late evening meeting and I can't get out of it. So I will be next to dead from boredom, and I don't want to bring that to the stream. So we will be doing it on the Saturday instead. Your final day was windy and rainy. That's not great. But the arcades are amazing. You went to the horror maze. Where was that? That sounds interesting, the horror maze. I mean, if they, I might go to the horror maze and my Alice from Shin Megami Tensei cosplay. Although that probably more horrify the owners of the maze rather than me. Are they in the pit? You've got to be kidding me! I'm going to win the race in the most ridiculous way possible. I don't believe it. They've had to pit. All I've got to do now is take it very gentle. So that's what I'm going to be doing here, people. I'm going to bore people to get to a victory. I can't believe this. I cannot believe that. Well, now I know why they were getting away from me, because they were obviously on medium tyres. And they burned them out. I was near South Pier, just past the water park. That's not too far away from the pleasure beach. I'll have to keep an eye out for that then, definitely, when I'm there in October. Because I say I'm there from the, I think it's the 6th and the 8th. I'm going to be there that weekend, because that's when Play Expo is on at Norbert Castle. A weekend of arcade gaming, classic console gaming, panelists, and God knows what else. And yes, I will be in the cosplay for it, even though it's not really the biggest cosplay area. It's kind of like gone more back towards gaming. But I'm still going to do it because I want to. So I'm going to win a race I had absolutely no business winning, because, as you put it, Joe, it seems the Ferrari pit strategists were out for the opposition, and I'm going to win comfortably. It's worth going to Exeter because it's quite cheap. I think it's like 30 quid or maybe 40 quid for a weekend ticket, and you get 2 days. And they have everything from like modern arcade cabinets to like really, really obtuse and obscure consoles. I played a console there last year I think it was called the Casio Pico. It was a console that was exclusive to Japan. Had an amazing 5 games. And it was aimed at young girls. It was all games like learning how to take care of the house for your parents. It was the most condescending thing I've ever seen. It was massively condescending. Just going to very briefly back out because I want to save my progress, having done one race. So, I had no business winning that. I had absolutely no business winning that race. So let's go on to... Let's do Laguna Seca. The circuit that claimed the soul of the Mercedes-Benz patent Motorwagen, 1886. But we've got the Bentley Speed 8 in this race as well, and the Toyota GT1. So this is a proper Group C GTP battle here. This is going to be an interesting one. Ironically, the car at the front is totally out of its class. That GTR LM has no business in this race. I'm not going to get around the outside. Oh, maybe I will. Oh, well, I was going to get around the outside and then Mr. Toyota hit me off. Unfortunately for him, he went straight into my path. And amazingly, the GT car's somehow still in the lead. But not anymore, it's not. He's been passed, which is... So it's a great circuit, this, Joe. You're quite correct. As for how am I going in this game, doing absolutely brilliantly. Mr. Jack, there is a Hell's Kitchen game, believe it or not. It's on PC. Spoony, aka the Spoony one, reviewed it years ago. There actually is a Hell's Kitchen game. I am not making that up. It was like a PC game from 2001 or something stupid like that. Oh, that's how it spun out. Wow. Dude, what you... I had to brake and I still hit him. Stop rally driving. You're in the wrong discipline. Go away. What was that Toyota 7 driver doing? Was he drunk? But yes, Mr. Jack, how am I doing in GT4? Well, you've seen me driving here. My driving is awful, but I'm somehow still managing to win titles in tournaments. Because I'm on super hard tyres and there's no grip in them. So I'm kind of like having to muscle my way out of corners. The good thing is, I've now got a bit of a breathing space, so it's time to chase down my brethren in the Nissan R92. And Avian, if you need a game to teach you how to cook, just hang out with Terra more in Danganronpa 2. The ultimate chef will teach you many lessons. Oh yes. You're welcome for that one. I must admit actually, Joe, going back to bikes, I have actually seen bike riders riding this circuit, and that takes balls to go down the corkscrew on a bike. I don't know where they find the courage to do that, but it's amazing. I had a feeling you wouldn't approve of that one, Avian. I just had a sneaking suspicion. Oh, I've gone too deep. Now I'm being the Toyota 7 driver. Still. Keep your foot in it and go. Amazingly, I might still set a faster lap than last time. That's insane, despite that car going off. So it shows there's a lot more time in this lap if I know if I actually pay attention to what I'm doing. As long as I can keep it touching distance with him, if he has to go into the pits, I'll win the race by default. Although I would like to pass him on track, because that'd be rewarding. Of course, for those of you who know your Gran Turismo history, this was the first officially licensed circuit, technically, Motegi Super Speedway also was in Gran Turismo 2, but it technically wasn't licensed. It wasn't called Motegi. Oh! I thought I'd caught it. I thought I'd done enough to arrest it. I thought I'd done enough to stop the slide, but it just got away from me at the last second. That's annoying. Never mind. We've still got 5 more laps, so we're not in a rush. After all, in the last race, I was miles behind, resigned to having to redo the race, and then won it. So, it's not over until the checkered flag falls. Ask Anthony Davidson at the 2016 Le Mans 24 Hour. Yeah, that's a sore wound, that one. Don't go up to him and ask about that in person, you will upset him quite badly. Default the sweetest 2 words in the language. So as long as you can deem someone else at fault, it's fine. It's definitely the icy tyres at the back. The super hard tyres just don't have the grip. But I like the fact that they've made it so that the tyres are a much bigger struggle. The big question is, will he pit? Or do I have to do it the old-fashioned way? I'm in slipstream distance now, so I'm keeping close to him. Especially when he goes off at the corkscrew like that. I am the shark smelling blood in the water. No, don't do the Jaws theme in the chat, please. That joke's older than the hills. Okay, here we go. Down towards the hairpin. We're going for it. I'm pulling out the slipstream, out the pits. I'm forcing the long way around as I take the F1 line. And that's got me through. Thank you very much. And that was actually a very clean pass, because I don't even think I touched him. So if you heard the car then, it was fighting for grip, it just wasn't there. You could hear the tyres spinning. I wish I could do something about that get ready to drive, Joe. Doesn't it? It annoys me as much as it annoys you. Apart from when it randomly disappeared during the driving missions mode for whatever reason. And I think he might be in the pits. I think it's just pitted in. So now the Toyota 7, despite that spin, despite that crash, is in second place. Can you believe it? The Jetsons car is chasing me down. But my ground effects side skirts are going to be too much for it to win. It won't be able to keep up with me. It's a very deep corner, but I'll get away with it. Oh yeah, it looks pretty fast, Joe. It's just that the computer can't handle it. It seems to always go off the track all the time. Every time I've seen that car drive, it's been nowhere near the corners. It's just been rubbish. Well, Avian, you're right. You're not driving. I'm driving. Yeah, you set yourself up for that one. You're welcome. Open goal. And to be fair, I'm always driving people round the bend. Now that is an old joke. Driving people insane, driving people mad, driving people to distraction, that's me. There's a reason I don't have a license, people. Exeter, you want to know how the drivers in GT look, do you? Okay, after this race, I will show you. Your imagination will be rewarded. I will show you how we look. We'll have a quick coffee break in a moment, and then I'll do a coffee break on track, and I will show you how the drivers look. As for prize car predictions, Joe, I'd love it to be something like the Jaaaaaaaaaag JR9 or the Toyota Minolta. It seems like it's too low class for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was like either another GT car like the Mitsubishi FTO Limited Edition, or the returning Honda CRX Del Sol Limited Edition. But we shall see. That's right, Mr. Nissan, I'm lapping you. And the Toyota has spared the ignominy. That coffee was just on the edge of going cold, so right time for me to drink it down. So, yeah, that Del Sol was pretty powerful. I mean, obviously in GT2 it was made a licensed car. Same with the FTO Limited Edition. That was made a licensed car because in the original game, once you had the FTO Limited Edition, you didn't need to buy any car. It broke every event you could get into. If it qualified for the event, you could dominate it. It was easy. Right, okay. So, Exetile, you've always wondered what the drivers look like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out a car, which was a troll car for me, because I worked very hard to unlock this car. This car here, this slow, useless piece of shit, was the prize for getting all golds in the S license. Something for which you normally get the likes of the Toyota GT1 or the likes of the Dodge Viper Limited Edition. No, in this game you get the Ford Model T. So, why is this going to help us to see what the drivers look like? Very, very simple. Because this car is a convertible. And that means I can show you. We will take it around Fuji this time. We'll take it to a different circuit. So first, there's not much there. Get ready. That's what our drivers look like. Check him out. Ah. Look at him. He looks so excited to be here at the wheel of one of the fastest Fords in history. Yes, we're cruising along at an amazing 51 miles an hour on the thinnest tyres in the world. Yes, the driver's looking confident. He's looking round. He's that bored. He's not even looking at the circuit. Check him out. He's actually looking through the barrier and going off. He's not interested. He's leaning into the corner there. Look at the lean as he tries to get any extra resistance, any extra speed out of this incredibly slow car. Yes, look at him. He's excited to be here. As we go around the outside of Mount Fuji onto the mile-long straight, get ready. We're going to take a very, very long time testing out the limits of grip here. We've got all the time in the world. We're not going to be getting anywhere near the troublesome, are we? Yes. We've got a mile-long straight. Let's cut to the driver. Oh, yes, look at him. He's focused. He's 100% not on this, isn't he? He's got his goggles on. He's got his leather jacket. He's come back from the 1930s to show you just how fast this car can go. We've not even made it to the start line yet, people. We're not even at the start line. That's how slow it is. We're going so slow with the fact the start line is actually fuzzy. It's actually completely fuzzed out. All the details gone completely crazy. Or at least it has for me on my screen. I don't know what it's like for you guys at home. Yes, the driver thinks he's in hell and who can blame him. The fans are cheering with their air horns. I don't know why. There's nothing to cheer here. Absolutely nothing to cheer. You can see that we're actually at the rev limiter. Check it out there, people. Next to the 2, you see the flashing red light? That means we are at the maximum power. This is as far as we can go. Unfortunately, Exeter, you can't take this car into any races. It's not allowed. See, this car's so slow, I don't even have to brake for this hairpin. Got a little bit of a gradient, give us a little extra speed, a little extra power. But so far, so very, very slow indeed. This is not going to be a quick lap, people. You think it's more jeering, Gavian, and I would be inclined to agree with you, for sure. Just listen to that engine, it sounds pathetic. Oh, we're drifting. We're actually drifting. You can take this car drifting. It's got tyres that are that thin, it has no grip. Yes, Henry Ford is the proud inventor of this car. What was he thinking? As you say, Exeter, yeah, the car's trying its best and the driver's just like, will someone please let me leave? Can I get back to driving the Nissan R89C, which has got like 1,000 more horsepower than this, and can actually go fast, please? But we're gonna see this out, people. Are we gonna get around before 3 minutes? Are we gonna make it? That's the question. We are flat out in the slowest car. Well, technically, no. There is a slower car than this, Avi. Oh, yes. That's right, Exeter. There's a car that's even slower. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see the slowest thing in the world? Do you want to see the driver and how he drives it? I'm giving you the bone in the comments. I'm giving you the chance to vote for it. Do you want to see it? Look at the lean on that body. It's absolutely all over the place. If you want to see it, I will happily show it off. Yes, look at the driver. Look at that face. He's just like, please let me go home. And Avian's not wrong. The horse is actually faster. The car is that slow, but no. We're not even going to make it in 3 minutes, people. There we are, we got the ghost car. Alright, here comes the drag race now, people. Check it out. Oh, and he's getting away from him. The ghost car's getting away. The ghost car's escaping. Yeah, here's a drag race for you, people. Come on. Can we keep up? Can we make it? We're retaking the lead. Oh, yes, here we are, people. This is the most epic race in the world. Check it out. Oh, it's toing and froing between both drivers. They're both pushing slightly further on. Who's going to win? Who's going to get to the first corner? They're going to the outside. Let's go to the racing line. Oh, yes. Check it out. This is a race, people. This is a race. Oh, look at that. Took that corner way better. Gained a good, what, 2 yards, maybe? This is... Oh, but he's coming back at us now. We're in danger here, people. Check it out. We're in danger. Can we win? Can we come in first place? Can we beat our ghost? Can we come faster? That's the question. It's like seeing that screen at the bottom there, people. It's like watching Stephen King's Jewel as it's slowly hounding us, desperately trying to get closer. We've got a bit of a gap now. We've got a bit of a gap. So their tyre squirrel there has cost us some critical speed. Is that going to be enough for the ghost car to catch up? That's the question. No, it's not. The ghost car is falling away. We might be able to do this. Yes, people, who thought we'd be doing this as a race tonight? Yes. We could take on the extreme races. We could do the endurance races. We could take on some of the classic comers. No. Oh, no, no, no. We're getting in the Ford Model T and we're rewriting the Fast and the Furious. That's what we're doing tonight. The spirit of Paul Walker is looking on, cheering us to say, come on, push that baby along. Oddly enough, it's funny because ironically, there was a Fast and the Furious from the 50s, which looked with cars similar to this, so technically we're actually remaking the original Fast and the Furious. That's true, actually, believe it or not. The Fast and the Furious from the 2000s was technically a reboot. You say 1 lap with this car as an endurance, well, we're about to do 2. But we're going to make it. The question is, just how fast are we going to make it? That's the question. So you look at him, he's in our dust now, we've pulled away. This is an amazing recovery drive. And he's just like, oh no, he's catching me up. The dot's growing bigger on the horizon, people. We're being hounded. How many seconds is that gap? That's the question. It looks like only 20 yards. It looks like the kind of thing I could run in 4 paces. But yet, it's still going to be an amazing 7 seconds. We went 7 seconds quicker by doing that, would you believe? We found 7 seconds in 1 lap, and it equated to around about 20 yards. Yes, we could even load the telemetry. Will it do it? Will it? Yes. Here we are, people. Oh yeah. Now we're really going in depth. So here's where we can improve our lap time, people. Check out the telemetry. Oh yeah. Yeah. How ridiculous is that? We even managed to put telemetry mode on. Yes, 20 horsepower. But yes, you think that's slow, Exital. You think that's bad. You've not seen anything. You want slow? You want really trying patience? Then I give to you the Daimler motor carriage from 1886. Oh yeah. Check it out. You thought the Ford Model T was slow. Wait until you see this baby. We'll take on the same circuit. We'll do 1 lap. And I'll show you just how slow this is. Be ready for this. Observe. Oh yeah, look at that. Now that's how you drive a car. Look at our driver, people. He's so excited to be here. Oh yes. Can we make it round? Is it possible? That's the question. This thing will leave Formula 1 cars and Group C Le Mans cars for dead. They have nothing on this car. Check it out. Listen to the engine. We're literally getting to 10 miles an hour and then we're conking out. We got to 12 miles an hour that time. You think what happened to what the driver got stuck on the children's ride Exeter? Wow. I mean, you're not completely inaccurate, to be fair, but still. God. How many yards have we covered, people? 100? Maybe 200 at best. Yeah. Well, look at the way he's having to turn it. He's having to turn it with the, like, you know, lay down. This is like the most counter... He is literally asleep at the wheel. Look at those eyes, people. His eyes aren't open. Well, he's not going to hit anything, is he? Let's be honest here. He's not going to hit anything. Oh, God, no, Joe. I wouldn't even want to think about that. Yeah, no. Absolutely not. Now, we're about to reach an area with a hill. The question is, can we make it? Can we get up? No, we're changing gear. We're about to go backwards, people. We can't go any further. We're trying to stroke the engine, trying to use the camber to slowly crawl along. No, no. We're stuck. We're stuck. We're not going anywhere. We're reversing again. That's an interesting suggestion, that avian. Let's see if we can get any power to do it. Let's try. Assuming the game simulated that avian, I'm not so sure it has. And I don't think we can even get over the bump. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reverse. I thought it was working then, but it's not. It's not having it. You can see the gradient. That's the problem. It can't get over the hill. It can't do it. The car is completely and utterly useless. I mean, I can literally go down this way and go the wrong way. Nope. Nope, the hill has defeated it. This is insane. Apparently someone took this round the Nordschleife, as in the Nürburgring, in 4.5 hours. How did they get up the hills? How did they do it? I don't know. Without the use of a cheat cartridge. Well, this is about as fast as we're going to get. But if we turn back around, we're not going to get anywhere. So yes, if you believe that the Ford Model T was slow, Exetel, you ain't seen nothing. The Daimler Motorwagen is much, much worse. So, now that we've taken a sojourn, wall riding won't work, unfortunately, Joe, because it's still reversing backwards. It's the gradient, that's the problem. It basically won't override it. So, now that I've shown you just how ridiculous our driver looks, let's get back to cars. Let's go back to a proper machine. Right, this time we shall try... Oh, go on. 15 laps of Scuba. Let's try that. This will be insane. A 15-lap race here will be ridiculous. Not as ridiculous as that 27-lap race at the motor park that time, though. For those of you who were there, you'll remember how crazy that stream was. Ooh, look what our cars are number 1. The Minolta Toyota from the 80s. Apparently we've only got a 1 point here, but we got the Ford GT40 race car. We've got 3 cars that are like GT cars, so they've got no business in this race. Oh, straight line that, but I got away with it. Perfect. Right. Yes, I do remember Keiichi Tsuchiya driving that McLaren F1. He also drove the, I think it was the NSXR GTR in 1994. There's a famous clip, there's a clip on YouTube called Le Mans 94 was different. And it has a picture, it has a clip of him in his garage, sat on a chair, with some masseuse fanning him with a huge fan like a Roman emperor. It's the most boss thing I've seen in years. Guy's there in the pits waiting for a stint, just sat there with someone like waving a giant fan in his face. That video is quite interesting to watch because it shows how much the world has changed on safety as well, because some of the ways that the cars were kept out of the barriers, yeah, it wouldn't fly today, that's for sure. If these guys need to stop here, there's questions to be asked about their strategy, because they shouldn't need to pit on this circuit. Unless, of course, they've got soft tyres on, in which case they've got no choice. So this circuit is incredibly short, so in a car like this it's a ridiculous circuit to lap. The only problem with this circuit is there's not really any straightway, so getting an actual draft for an attempt at a corner pass is difficult. Not impossible, just difficult. Could you imagine F1 cars in the modern era going around this circuit, Joe? That'd be hilarious. Oops. Yeah, that's not how you pass people. You know, punting people off like that is dirty. Still, these guys like to retaliate the same way, so it's not all unfair. So we're going to try a Daniel Ricciardo style braking move here. And we got it completely wrong. But the cutback could come to our advantage. And that's how you do it. And then the next corner you screw up by going too wide and giving them a road to take you back. As you say, Joe, yeah, it would for sure be something. You're not wrong. What's curious there is I actually set my fastest lap and the Nissan R89 has still caught me up. That's a cause for concern. It shows that my car is not OP in this race after all. But again, I think it's because I'm on the hard, super hard tyres, and I think they're going to be on mediums or medium hard. But that also might be why they need to pit, so we'll see. They might need to pit, they might not do. We've only been racing for 5.5 minutes, so it's quite cool. Plus, if we catch the slower traffic, they might struggle to pass them. So there's still a chance here. Though that's not going to help it. The problem with this circuit is you don't really drive it in cars at this speed, so you don't quite know how to... or at least I don't quite know how to tackle the corners. So I'm struggling with braking zones really badly. With the tyres I'm on as well, which they've got less grip, it's difficult to be able to like shoehorn the car around the corner, but that's just racing, you just got to get used to it. Oh, no, that's not the way to take that corner. Ah, he's caught up the traffic. Now this will be interesting. How good are they getting through the traffic? So if they're not that good, I might have a chance there. On a circuit like this, I'd normally qualify, but you don't have the option in this championship. You can't do it. Yeah, it's as you say, Joe. It's not designed for cars of this kind. It's definitely not designed. It's designed for more club cars and GT cars and like standard road cars. It's not really meant for GT Le Mans cars like this. So the likes of this Ford and the RX-8 and the RX-7, that'll be awesome. But it's funny, this game actually contains multi-class racing. Something that GT7 doesn't have, because we're actually technically multi-class racing right now, and I've taken the lead, which means they've gone into the pits. So all I've got to do is be careful. Not much to say here, just got to keep it nice and smooth as best as we can to try and get through to the end of the race. And that's not going to help, going that deep. But our tyres will easily make it to the end. So it's just a matter now of being relatively precise. Yeah, your fastest lap. It's a shame that the special conditions wet race you can't use as an actual race. It'd have been interesting to race the AI in a fully wet race all the time, but you can only have 1 versus 1. A full grid of wet on wet track could be quite interesting. More laps to go. And after this we will take on a different track. We'll take on a more classic track. Final lap. So by the way, I've got an idea. Obviously, in literally a month's time, I'm going to hell when I do the Sonic 06 stream. It's already in the list. It's already scheduled. Now, one of the suggestions I had was to do a selection of weird drinks for it, just to see how bad they are. Well, my local supermarket happens to have bottles of that weird new craze drink called Prime. Should I get a bottle of that just to see how bad it is? I'll leave it all to you people in the chat to decide. It's a drink called Prime, which apparently is like endorsed by that YouTuber, whatever his name is, Logan Paul, I think. Apparently he had some hand in making it. My local grocery store has it available. Apparently it's rare and super expensive for some reason. No one knows why. It could be one of the many weird drinks that I find. I'm planning to go to a Oriental supermarket in Leeds. Because that's where I got the famous, atrocious Sailor Jupiter drink from. Yes, Avian. The one you like so much. Right. Yeah, let's go to Fuji. If you're talking about the one that you created for the 24-hour stream, then no. Nothing can possibly ever go worse than that. Meanwhile, a drink called what, Joe? Oh, Sting. Nah, I never heard of it. And XT, you say Prime's overrated, you don't get why they all fight for it, but apparently in Blackpool they were selling it as arcade prize claws. Are you kidding me? You get it from a claw machine? That's a scam. That is an absolute scam. Oh, we got a grid start and we're here on the Fuji 2005 layout. Funny story. This was actually the first game to ever feature this layout. It was the one that became the Formula 1 circuit in 2007 and 2008. And it's still used to this day in the World Endurance Championship. I've actually been here. I've actually watched a race in this configuration. It was amazing. I watched a 6-hour endurance race. It was so fucking cool. You can tell Herman Tilke touched this track though. Look at all the runoff that's been added. that's insane. So it's either the drink was in it or a plush of it. I mean, a plush I can at least understand. That's a bit of a weird collectible. But the actual... oh! Ow! Okay, fine. Tattoo my spine, Mr. Mazda RX-7 driver. We get it. You're on medium tyres and you can grip corners faster than my car. It doesn't give you a license to smash me up the arse. At least buy me dinner first. And preferably a decent dinner. None of that McDonald's shit. Ah, there's no brake marker boards. That's annoying. Technically that's cheating, but there's no flags or rules in this, so... I don't know, Avian, you've seen how I look dressed as a girl. I wouldn't say no. I'm such a vain fucker for saying that, aren't I? Then again, I'm so vain, Carly Simon wrote a song about me before I was born. Yeah, as you say, Exeter, I mean, obviously claw machines are gambling. So, I mean, that's the thing. They are always rigged as well. Like they're always designed so that the claw points like release as you get nearer to the goal. Top tip: if you're trying to win prizes in a claw machine, always go for the prize that's right by the bin slot, because you got more chance of it dropping in. That's what a lot of the pro players do in Japan, because their claw machines are rigged. I've tried a couple in like Club Sega in Tokyo. They are the most rigged things in the world. I quite like the layout for this circuit. It's just that because this was about before the circuit officially opened, a lot of the features you need, like the brake marker boards, aren't there. So it's a difficult circuit to learn, which is probably why it would have been useful back in the day. It would have been a useful way to pick the track up, because you'd have understood what you're looking for as alternative reference points, because there's so little in the actual official ones you'd normally use. That depends on the how shaded the operator of the arcade is, Avian, but you're not wrong actually. Some of them are weighted, or they're deliberately like held back in some other way. It wouldn't surprise me if some of the more scummy operators do that. It's funny, Exeter, because you know the ones you're talking about where they have, like, you know, prizes that are really of high value. A lot of them also have a rule where you can only win one prize at a time. Like there's a machine that's quite popular. I think it's popular in America, where you have like a key on a bar, and you essentially have to like lift it up so that the key goes through a slot, and if it does it locks behind it, and that gets you the receipt for the prize. Like say like a box for a tablet or something like that, and you take that to the cash out desk. But I've seen videos where professional claw machine people have actually beaten the machine twice, and the arcade owners have refused to pay out, saying we only have a one prize limit. If you're ever interested in seeing a video about that, by the way, the YouTuber Mark Rober, who is famous for his glitter bombs, had a couple of really interesting videos. One where he went to like a carnival and like basically showed how the machine, how the games are rigged against the player and all that kind of thing. And then he also had a video where he went to a local arcade and he used his inventions to find ways to make the machines unbeaten, so he couldn't lose at the games. And they're both fascinating videos, especially the one where he actually goes to the carnival, purely because he then brings along a person who's a professional baseball player to basically pwn the shit out of all the games. You know, like where you have to like knock down milk bottles or throw hoops on bottle rings or things like that. This guy absolutely cleans them out, and it's so satisfying to watch. Well worth digging up if you get a chance to get 5 minutes. So you've seen X-Tower, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a great video, it's brilliant actually, I love it. It's just funny seeing all the ways they scam people, like the basketball hoops being 11 feet high rather than the usual 10 feet, which makes a massive difference to your throw, trust me. Anyone who's played darts will tell you, if you play at the near oche and then go to the far line, you miss short all the time. Yeah, that's right, the bridge game, yeah, where he exposed how to beat it. And then how, once you know how to beat it, the owners know it, so they have like a one victory per month rule. There's actually in Blackpool, I believe there's on one of the piers a game where you have to hang from a bar for a minute. So essentially like hung up on a bar like this, like a monkey bar, elevated off the floor. And the idea is you hang on for a minute, you win the prize. What no one tells you is that the bar rotates. So what you have to do to actually beat it, you have to constantly rotate your hands to form a counter motion and hold yourself in place. And it might sound easy, but one, it requires a lot of upper body strength, and two, it requires a lot of coordination. So many a person has looked like an absolute idiot falling off in less than 4 seconds because they've been caught out by the fact the bar rotates. At least I think Blackpool has it. I know there's somewhere in the south as well, like Leonard-on-Sea, somewhere like that. I've seen videos from there as well. Like air rifle games, they always use an air rifle that's got a bent barrel. So you have to like basically deliberately stare down the sight and then aim off to the side to have any chance of hitting anything. And most people, of course, don't know how to do that, so they fail. So they had it in central London too. Makes sense. Like along the Thames or somewhere like that. So next time in London I'll have to go and visit Namco World again on the Thames. Their massive arcade. Really cool place. Right near Tower Bridge actually. It's about 5-minute walk from Tower Bridge. Of course, when am I next likely to be down south? Not anytime soon, I don't think. Not unless work decides to send me down there for a week of training. Oh, they closed it down? Oh, that's a shame. Maybe it happened because of the virus. Wouldn't surprise me, actually. A lot of arcade places closed down. Pity. Massive pity. I went there once for a... I can't remember one, but I ended up getting invited to a random meal one day. Can't remember who organised it. And the thing is, I was going out for a meal afterwards. I decided that I'd wear my grey suit, the one that I used for my Leon Nar cosplay. But rather than have the guns and the shield, I literally just wore the suit. And I was in there, and someone had a problem with one of the machines, and they came up to me going, "I need you to fix the machine." I looked at her and I went, "You what?" And then they went, "Yeah, you're a manager here, aren't you? Sort the machine out." And I'm like, "No, I'm not a manager here. The staff all wear black and yellow like jumpsuits with Namco written on the back of them. Sorry, I can't help you. Very strange. And it wouldn't surprise me if rent problems were the reason why, actually, because a lot of places were just like having the rents jacked up. And of course, when you start losing money, you know, people stop doing it. It's like the Trocadero in London. I remember when that was a gigantic 3-story arcade. Now I think it's one of those tatty I Love London tourist gift shops. Ugh. Shivers down my spine, people. Shivers down my spine. So, what race are we going to do next in this series? We've got about another 4 to go, I think. I think I'll do... first of all, I'm going to quickly save my game. There we go, it's saved. Right. Let's go... Oh, never mind. We have choice of Twin Rim Motegi, Infineon, or the Nordschleifer. I'm going to save the Nordschleifer for last, so we're just on a Japanese circuit. We'll do Infineon in the States. More commonly known as Sears Point in Sonoma, California. Very cool circuit. Oh, yes. Exeter. What you're talking about there is a classic street scam. Very, very common. Basically, you're always going to lose because it's by sleight of hand. They actually cheat. There's I watched a video recently done by someone like GQ or someone like that, and they actually had a professional person who does street tricks and those kind of stealing people's wallets to show them how at risk they are, and they actually demonstrated the cup game, and you can clearly see how they actually do it. He didn't do it. He deliberately didn't show us how, but he made his motion his hand motions obvious enough so you could guess how. You know what I mean? It's a common scam, as you say. It's a complete scam. Anything like that, walk away from, my advice. To be honest, a lot of carnival games are scams anyway. They're designed to make money, and they do it by cheating. They'll also more than likely not have a street trader's license, so the chances are you'll see them very, very quickly disappear into the ether. Oh, that's wide. That's very wide. Yeah, I deserve that. Yeah, there's no way through at this section of the track, but we might be able to sneak around the outside here and then get into the quick... Well, it's not even a kink normally. Oh, I was aiming to go to the inside of the Jag and then hit the Toyota. Anyway, let's carry on. When I get through this race, I'll check out that comment. I've not really got any straight way to take advantage of in this race, unfortunately. It's a very fast track, this, and because of that you have to really nail it. Ah, right, yeah, the scam where you show multiple things. It's like with card games. Same kind of thing. It's like all about like trying to take advantage of your mind. It's what they do. It's like common tricks. It's like magic. It's like magic, isn't it? It's like magic's all about deception and deceiving the human eye. Street magicians are brilliant because you see all kinds of stuff done on the street. So there's a guy in Leeds who does this like running trick where he jumps through like 3 like posts. One of them's on fire, one of them's got blades, and one of them's got something else. And he does it blindfolded. So of course everyone's like, "Oh my god, wow!" And then you have me who goes, "Yeah, it's a pair of tights. You can see through them. You can see. There's no magic here." Yes, unlike Himiko in Danganronpa V3, I don't think it's magic. There, the cones that I knocked down earlier. I made a mess of the track because of course I did. Now this is a very fun track to drive, this Infineon. Very, very fast, very flowing. Even getting into the slower speed corners like that is an absolute joy. And I love the detail, the fact that you can actually see the cars on the other side of the circuit there. The creators went to the effort of giving you that like perspective, which is so cool. It's a nice little touch where you can really appreciate everyone coming back around. Oh dear, no. No, I got away with that. Oh, way too wide then. Yeah, adding numbers up to make the such. Yeah, but if I can picture what you're getting at there, Exetel. I'd have to see it, but I think I understand where you're going with it. And Joe, in terms of car grizzly race here, I know that American Le Mans had a series here for a while because I think Alan McNish actually drove the Audi R8 here once. And I know that I think NASCAR come here because there's a stock car version of the course where it cuts out the inner loop. I wouldn't be surprised if IndyCar had come here in the past, but I don't know if they do now. And it's probably quite a popular event for any of like American clubman level racing. You know, if you have like the likes of say like Ford Tauruses and things like that. It wouldn't surprise me if they if there's like an American version of touring cars that isn't stock car racing, like NASCAR. They probably come here as well. But I'd say I'm pretty sure that Alan McNish drove the Audi R8 here one year. Well, I can't remember which year it was. Because American Le Mans used to do it quite a lot back in the day. Which isn't much of a surprise when you think about it, because they've done races at some of the smaller circuits, like Road Atlanta, for example, where they do the Petit Le Mans. They do, even though that circuit's not really grade 1, they still use it for the American Le Mans. So maybe the what's it called? Is it the IMSA? The new like LMDH cars, their series in America might possibly come here now I think about it. Because I know they do the likes of Sebring and the likes of Daytona. So it wouldn't surprise me if they came here as well. Motor Racing Live is awesome, Exetel. I can understand how films like that might have ruined your perspective of it, but trust me, having been to Le Mans, having been to Fuji for the World Endurance, having many years ago going to Alton Park for the British touring cars, it's so much fun. Go to the right circuit for the right class of racing. It's just ear-splittingly loud, very fast, great experience. And of course, London is host now to the Formula E. It was there last weekend at the Excel Centre. They have a race that starts indoors and goes outdoors. And this week's was actually kind of crazy thanks to the British weather. You had half the track soaking wet because it was outside in the rain, and half the track dry because it was inside the Excel Centre. It was somewhat of an experience, and the video for that, if you want to watch it, on Channel 4 Sports YouTube channel, where both broadcasts are available as archives. Here in the UK anyway. I don't know about Europe, but if you're in the UK, you can watch them for free. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. I'd say Excel will be back next year, for sure. It'll be the same kind of time next year. I'd say it's weird. It's like, but I remember seeing the concept when they first said it's going to start in the Excel Centre. I was confused. I'm like, isn't that where Comic-Con normally is? What do you mean they're doing motor racing there? But lo and behold, they do. All electric cars. It's Formula Electric. It's not a cliche at all, Joe. The weather over here is ridiculous. The weather over here can either be as hot as the tropics or as cold and freezing as Norway. We really are the kings of microclimate that makes no fucking sense. Here in the UK, I think that's part of the reason why we are so crazy, because our island is just absolutely bonkers. I'll give you an example of how crazy the weather is in the UK, Joe. Back in 2010, my local rugby team, Sale Sharks, were in the Rugby European Championship, and they were due to host a game against a French side called Brive. Now, for whatever reason, this European tournament had matches in the middle of January and February. So, this match was meant to be held in a little town called Stockport, which is just on the outskirts of Manchester. And this particular winter was absolutely freezing cold. It was very heavy snow. The pitch was tougher than a $2 steak. Now, the pitch was completely unplayable. It was absolutely impossible. You were in like trying to dive onto marble. So they had to cancel the game, postpone it. Under the rules of the championship at the time, if you postponed a match, you had 24 hours to either play it, or move it and play it, or it counted as a forfeit and you lost via walkover to the opposition. So the groundskeep at this place called Edgeley Park in Stockport was like, forget it. It's not possible. Unless you've got a foundry with spare molten metal that you can use to thaw out the pitch, we can't play. So the team got their heads together And we're thinking, right, okay, we're going to need to move the game. We've got 24 hours, and if we don't move it and play it, we lose. So we've got to play somewhere that's not as affected by the cold. So in a mystery that science cannot explain, they moved it to Galashiels on the Scottish borders, which had been less affected by the winter. How is it possible that the Scottish borders was warmer and less winter affected than the middle of England? How? Your says it all joke. It makes no sense. None of us to this day know how that happened. The match happened and typical my team lost, but we didn't lose via walkover. So we at least competed. And yes, XSL, snow in July. Those random flurries that happen now and again. You're there like, what are you doing? This is meant to be summer. Get back in your lane. Come back in 6 months. So we've got 8 laps of the twin ring Motegi full circuit. Normally you brake at 70 metres. And yeah, 70 metres is fine in this car. That's cool. Nice one. Right, time to attack. Give me a slipstream, Mr. PlayStation Pasquarolo. We're doing Mika Hakkinen and Marcus Schumacher all over again. Oh, he's turned in on me and hit me. Never mind, we're through. So Henri Pasquarolo has been a pest there and hit me. But nicely out of the way now at least. Yes, the Toyota driver is back, but at least he's behaving himself thus far. He's not been off the road as yet. Oh, and then I hit him off the road. Oh, he's pushed me off the circuit. Alan McNish put me into the sand. Well, I'll say it's Alan McNish. It could have been Tom Christensen. Or Andre Lotterer. But I'm blaming McNish because he crashed in the Le Mans in 2011. Oh, what the heck? I'll give that Toyota driver credit. That was amazing cornering. That was a brilliant move. I was literally using the gap in his rear wing to see where I was going then. Can't believe that worked. Good lord. Stop pushing me off the circuit. Still, at least the Audi driver spun out by himself. Wasn't because of me. So the AI are really putting up a fight here, but again, I think it's because of the tyres I'm on. Because I'm on these hard tyres, I've not got anywhere near the grip, so I can't go full speed through some of the corners they can, which is a major nuisance. And the Bentley driver's just like Bentley speed, there you go, boo. I say, judging by prior form, they're going to have to pit anyway, so I'm not too bothered at the moment. Main thing I've got to do is stay in touch with them. If I stay in touch, all's going to be okay. You say it's totally the Audi's fault. Definitely, went off by himself. But the Toyota driver's made a beautiful move on the Bentley and taken the lead. Good driving there. That was awesome. Oh, there goes the Toyota driver off by his own accord. It's a drag race which I've won. Brilliant, now we're through. Went a lot faster on that lap. Yeah, the Bentley's a great car. I must admit, driving it in the license test at Le Mans was, for me, phenomenal. Doing it around the Circuit de la Sarthe was fantastic. Really nice car. In the later games, like in Forza 4 and GT and all that, where you had the windscreen wiper stuck in the middle of the screen, was annoying as fuck though. If you used cockpit view, you just had literally the windscreen wiper right in the middle of your screen. Very, very irritating. You also had that radio antenna you couldn't see past, if you remember that. Show the different cockpit views, even though they're not really cockpits in this game. There's a reason it won the Le Mans in 2003. Martin Brundle driving it, one of his last victories. At least I think Martin Brundle won that year. I know he was definitely driving it. I was remembering taking time off his commentary duty for ITV to racing it. Oh, no. That was bad. That was bad cornering from me. I got too brave on the brakes. I got way too hot on the brakes then. I thought I could brake later than I should have done. Not a very smart move, that. Fortuitously, I had a decent series of handling there that's pulled me away again. This is a chance to make up some gap. Yeah, I'd say I'm hoping to be able to get hold of some of the other Le Mans cars because I've not driven them in decades. I remember when I was a lot younger, I used to love driving the Toyota Minolta. I absolutely love that car. The Bentley that I've drove in the license test was great. The Audi R8 Le Mans car was great. I'm pretty sure the Toyota GT1 was great except for the fact it was very, very twitchy. Brilliant car when you got it right, but it was so twitchy, it was unbelievable. The Mazda 787B has always been overpowered. In a lot of racing games, the Mazda 787B, despite not being that great in real life, was often the best car. Because yes, even though it won the Le Mans 24 Hour, that's pretty much all it did. It wasn't that good a car. Certainly not compared to the Peugeot 905C or the Jaguar XJR Le Mans car, or the Porsches, the many Porsches, like the 967 I think it was, the Porsche that won God knows how many Le Mans 24 hours. Even as late as 1994 it was winning, because the car was that dominant. Yeah, you say it's medium speed, it was very unstable. So it was a good car. I liked using the Toyota GT1. I still remember when that was a big thing in GT2, when they got both the Nissan R390 and the Toyota GT1. Both of those cars were like seen as the ultimate machines for the era. So I had no idea why they made it so bad, because it was always a dominant car. Maybe that's why they just had to nerf it. And of course, it would have won Le Mans in 1999 if not for the final half an hour of a mechanical problem. That was Toyota's trick until 2018. They used to always break down in stupid ways despite being very, very fast. Oh wow, much faster. I've just found 3 seconds. That's amazing. So the final race that's coming up in a moment is at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. We're going to have some fun with that. As I very nearly drive off the circuit again, we'll get away with it. Very true, actually. Yeah, you got Murray Walker said it best, didn't they? To finish first, you have to finish. Very, very true words. No point being the fastest car in the world if you're not going to make the finish line. Unless you're Peugeot, who wanted to dominate the speed record on the Mulsanne, turned all the turbos up, designed to blow the engine, and set a new record of 405 kilometers an hour. The car immediately blew up afterwards, but it's not the point. They had the record, and that was used to their marketing effect. It's where the Peugeot 405 name came from, ironically. Although ironically, I've just set my fastest lap again. Evidently I'm finding my speed now in this car. They always say it's about practice and knowing a circuit. Oh, the Henri Pescarolo is in second place in the Pescarolo Judd. It's a shame that you said the 905 is a very good car but has poor acceleration. I love the 905 in Forza 4. I used it all the time, and I used to annoy people who had the Sauber C9 Mercedes DLC car, the pay-to-win car, and I used to beat them in the 905. They hated me. They always accused me of being a hacker because I could beat the C9 in a 905. And I just used to say to them afterwards, it's not my fault I actually learned the circuit rather than relied on a car to do all the work for me. I say that at the moment I nearly go spinning off into the sand here at Motegi, but that's not the point. When you say never played this game, you mean never played Forza 4? I'm taking it. It was on the Xbox 360. Very good game actually, Forza 4. Forza 4 was a great game. Probably the last great Forza. It's ironic actually, the last great Gran Turismo was 4, the last great Forza was 4. Yeah, we're going over the line backwards, people. Very true, that actually, Exetel. Yeah, just because you bought something good from the DLC, it doesn't mean you're good at the game. Just because you used DLC and paid for it doesn't mean you're guaranteed to succeed. And so Josie, you played 6 and 7 besides Horizon. Yeah, those games are okay, but 4 was much more like this, you know, in terms of like, you know, you start in your car and then you get cars. Every time you leveled up, you got given a car and you decided whether you wanted to tune it up, keep it stock, and everything else. And it was a fantastic online community as well. The online for Forza 4 was amazing, but I think the servers were shut down years ago. Although I must admit, I annoyed someone because you could upload liveries and then put, like, you know, an in-game credits cost for them. And there was one guy charging 50,000 credits for a replica of the McLaren F1 livery that won Le Mans in 1994. I made it just as good and sold it for 3,000 credits because I thought he was ripping people off. I got a very angry direct message from him, so I just replied with, DLC go boo. And Forza Horizon 4, that was one set in the UK, I believe. I think, not mistaken. Not played it, but I think I've seen the clips. So here we are at the circuit, not circuit, we are at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. We are here for 2 laps, people, that's all we've got. 2 laps. Now the question is, will they have to pit at the end of lap 1? If they do, the race is mine. Got a decent lineup of opponents as well here. Though we also have the random Belgian car, the Gillette, whatever it is, I think. Oh, very slippy there. Right, when I get to a long straightaway, I'll read your message, Joe, because it's quite a nice looking one. You mentioned the Toyota Sprinter Trueno A86, and the initial D fan in me is very happy about that. Oh, what the hell? There's been a crash up ahead. I don't know what happened to the Gillette Vertigo, but it's gone. Ooh. Oh, that was suicidal. I managed to get away without crashing at least. Oh, God. Good Lord, what's going on here? This is absolutely ridiculous driving. We're 4 abreast. Oh, and he's pushed me onto the grass. But I've still held the position. I'm in 2nd place. That was heart-stopping, people, wasn't it? Who says my streams are boring? Oh, ow, pile up. Ow, 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 and mega ow. This is the dirtiest race I've been in for some time. The AI have gone absolutely crazy here, people. I am faster than you. Stop trying to rub against my car. Leave me alone. Stop harassing me. It's not consent, mate. Much like with cosplay, don't touch me. Don't touch without asking. Yeah, that R39 never had a hope, did it? Oh, yes, open lobbies. You're right, actually. We've entered an open lobby. Years before they were a thing. Oh God, the bounce in this car. It's bouncing all over the place. So I'm trying not to cheat and just blast past it by hitting it. Right, good, get out of my way. Time to get after the Sauber C9 Mercedes. It's got a huge lead. But I've got 1,000 horsepower and the bit between my teeth. But my God, is this car not right in the bumps? Oh my God, it's bouncing worse than a jackrabbit on a pogo stick. Yes, that was the best I could do trying to do a Jeremy Clarkson. No, I'm not as good, I know. Unfortunately, I can actually steal a march here by cheating. Carousel go burr? No. War ride go burr. Yeah. That's right, people. That's the one advantage of the Nordschleifer. On this game, you can war ride it. Now, speaking of Forza 4, by the way, buried somewhere deep in my archive, I have a video from Forza 4 online when me and a random guy had an amazing touring car-esque race around the Nürburgring. I was in the Ford GT LM car and he was in like a modified Scooby Impreza, and it was amazing racing, open lobby, and one of the best races I've ever had. I captured it on video. God, this is so hard to drive. Oh, I told you, too hard to drive. It just can't handle the bumps. Oh! Ooh! Ow! Well, on one hand, thank you for the bump draft. In other, ow, my spine, my neck, my head, my spleen. You name it, everything's been affected by it. Right, it might be hella fast, but is it as fast as me? That's the question. Because this is where the full speed, 1000 horsepower, comes into effect. Yes, very true, yeah. He's not pitted. This has got to be raced on the circuit legit. The question is, will he run out of tyres and crash? That is the big question. I don't know how I managed to hold that then, because I clipped the inside grass. Just felt the grip falling away, but I managed to just about catch it before I put too many tyres on the dirt, and by planting the power the way I did, I got away with it. But that was not easy. Yeah, the problem is the bumps. The bumps destroy this car. This car cannot ride the bumps anywhere near as well as any other car in the game. So clearly the chassis is not designed for this uber stiff, undulating surface. But that's why the Nürburgring is called the Widowmaker, because it's a circuit that can absolutely destroy you with ease. There's nowhere where you can relax. There's no point where you think, I can take a breather. Oh, see, oh, his tyres are gone. His tyres are fucked. He's tried to stay out and his tyres are completely and utterly fucked. Now you see, I like that. I like that this game actually, for a game that was set so, he's just spun out. For a game that's so old, The fact they included that is brilliant. I love that. So again, I've won this race purely because of tyre strategy. That's what's won me the race. Not my driving, not my skill. It's my tyre choice. I've won it purely because I've fought long and I've gone, nah, the tyres aren't going to last. I've called the strategy right, but that's a lot of racing. Having your pit stop strategies, or if you can avoid a pit stop entirely, can be the biggest difference maker. Take a little bit of power out of the car there because of the bumps, but I might as well slow down a bit. Keep the car as stable as I can. I've got a gap, so I might as well use it to my advantage. Niki Lauda once said the objective of a race is to win it as slow as possible. Protect the car, protect the driver. Yep, RIP to the great one. Of course, when you wall ride like that, you can also gain quite a lot of time. I admit it, I'm a scrub, I take advantage of things, so what? If you came here expecting like sim racing god tones, you're in the wrong place. Yeah, who doesn't miss Niki? You're not wrong, Joe. He was an absolute legend. Called it like it was. Wasn't afraid to tell the truth. And I'd say it was amazing to hear his comments about, you know, the season that was in '76 for the Rush movie, and the amount of help he gave to Daniel Bruhl and everybody else involved. I thought that was tremendous. And it's like I remember hearing him commentating for RTL. When Jenson Button won his first Grand Prix in 2006, so I'd been in Germany that week for the Wacken Music Festival, and we decided to have a few days in Hamburg to basically refresh before coming home. And we caught the race live using RTL. Didn't understand the word of the commentary, but just seeing him talking afterwards was kind of interesting. And his work with both Ferrari and Mercedes after obviously before his death was just awesome to see he still had it. And they're probably thinking, how am I going so fast? And the answer is, I had the right tyres on. But ironically, the Sauber C9's back in second place. So despite his spin, he's still holding it together. Five gears, 239 miles an hour. That's Group C for you people. None of this 7-speed, 8-speed gearbox nonsense. It was a proper old-fashioned 50s 5-speed, tuned up to the absolute max. Those were the days. And we've gone sub 6 minutes, 5:54. Pretty impressive. So with that, we might have possibly finished the series. I wonder what car we're going to get for this. It's in the extreme test, so it should be decent. And all the cars we've played against were actually very heavy hitters. So I'm hoping it'll be something pretty good. Let's find out. We've won every race, so we should get a prize car. Here we go. We have unlocked another pace car. Really? I've already got one. Why have we unlocked a second one? Wow. That's a disappointment. That's disappointing. I love the design of it, but it's completely useless and pointless. That's a massive disappointment. That is a colossal disappointment. Ah, so we need a standard sports car. Oh, this is where I'm going to use my Italian car. I've got the Italian car for this, don't I? The weird, like, Ferrari wannabe. That was it, the Cizzetta. That's the one. I used the Cizzetta. The hybrid of the Ferrari Testarossa and the Lamborghini Diablo. Yeah, no one can overtake me now, that's true. Yeah, get the lights on. Nope, you've got to stay behind the car. So let's try and finish this series off while we can. We've got Opera Paris, Hong Kong, and New York. Let's start in New York, New York. That's a good place to begin. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be part of it. Yes, I am not a crooner, as you probably noticed. Interesting question there, Maxwell. Shouldn't there be a mechanic where if you win the duplicate car, you can either sell... Well, you can sell it. You can definitely... I can sell the car. That's not a problem. Selling the car is not an issue. I'm going to go with medium hard for this. I get the feeling that going with soft and medium is going to be bad. And it definitely is just a supercar event. No doubt about it. It is a super... I mean, look at the cars. The Aston Martin DB9, the Mercedes SL65, the Pagani Zonda C12. Come on. It's quite clear that this is very much a supercar race. But yeah, so I can sell the car, Exetel. That's not an issue. Selling the car is not a problem. Transmission-wise, because we've got long straights here, I want quite a decent top speed. So I'll go with 16. Right, let's see how hard this is to win. We have a 4-point A-spec race, and we are going. We're going backward. We're going backwards this time. So yes, Exetel, world game for you. Joe, you've already played this, so you're out. But how many real-world sponsors can you spot as we go around the lap? You got 3 laps. Pay attention. And how many sponsors can you see? Call them out every time you see them. You'll be surprised at the Easter eggs in terms of who is actually in here. Oh God, the brakes on this thing are shocking. I forgot how tough the brakes are. Yeah, that's why we don't go round roundabouts usually, people. And there's the Pagani Zonda. Way out of its class. It shouldn't be in there, really. That's a hypercar, not a supercar. Then again, they didn't really use hypercar as a name back here, did they? Even the likes of the McLaren F1 weren't considered hypercars. The only one that was a hypercar was the Bugatti Veyron. Oh, what the hell? Oh, I lost all revs for a second then. My engine, like, cut out. I'm there, I'm like, what the hell? I've got an engine, I've got a misfire. And to be fair, if it's simulated, oh God, I can't grip round corners. This car just slides. Wow. It's like I'm driving a drift car. Which is fun, but just not very fast. I think part of the problem is I've just come out of the Group C cars. Oh, that's true, Avian. Yep, you've played at that. I had a feeling you've gone quiet. I thought you disappeared. Not that I blame you. Oh God, I've got no grip in this car. Fortuitously, I do have a lot of power. So I can hopefully pull away from them and just take advantage on these massive straights. Yeah, perfect. As perfect as it could be anyway, but the bridge is one of the better places to brake there. Now, so if you don't want to partake, don't worry about it. Ah, so some stuff came in from Word, did it, Avian? That's fair. It's always annoying when you get distracted by your job, but without the job, there's no money, and without the money, there is no Anime North. Which is what I'm hoping to come back for next year. I've already requested my holiday for it. I've yet to have comment on whether it's been granted, so planning stage cannot start just yet, but I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks the planning phase can begin. Because yes, I want to return to Canada again. I had a lot of fun this year. You see, it's surprising this game has there's quite a few Easter eggs hidden in here, surprisingly. Laguna Seca has a load of trucks that are hidden like behind the back barriers. And thanks to the emulator I'm playing on and the upscaling, people have found out that the trucks are based on Formula 1 teams from the era. There was Jordan with the yellow Hornet, there was Sauber with the Red Bull backing, there was Benetton with the Blue Mile 7, there was Williams with the Compact. So it was really kind of cool that they were there. Hidden out of boundary, hidden out of bounds. But yes, the power of this car is proving more than a match for the Austin, Pagani and everything else. I just got to brake much earlier. It's an awkward car to drive for that respect. Feels more like a classic muscle car than a, you know, an Italian sports car. Oh, no way, the Mercedes is in second place now, the AMG. Yeah, as you say, everything sounds good to me, so obviously once I know more I'll let you know and we'll sort it all out. I've already been looking at flights and I may have to go for you're asking for permission to spoil something, Joe? No, it's more for the audience. I don't like spoilers really, but if there is something for a car I can win, if you don't reveal it, I don't mind a hint towards it, but not much more than that. We don't really like spoilers on this channel. Ever since someone came in and spoiled Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc halfway through the 5th trial. Fortuitously, it wasn't a massive spoiler, but it was still very, very frustrating. It was like the game was giving me karma for the fact that I laughed during a particular moment in Chapter 4 in that game. Again, I'm deliberately trying to avoid spoiling the spoiler here, because I don't want to spoil what the spoiler spoiled. Ah, yeah, now we're going Inception, people, but that's confused you. Right, we are at Opera Paris. So for this one, I need a little more acceleration down at top speed. So... oh, that's fair enough, Evan. You say it's cars to you, you won't know. I mean, I don't remember all the cars in this game. So again, it's been, what, 20 plus years since I probably played it apart from the series. Well, it's not quite 20 years, but it's long enough. Oh, there's another Cizetta in this race. I'm not on my own. It's a red one. I'm the real Cizetta. No, I'm the real Cizetta. No, I'm the real Cizetta. No, I'm the real Cizetta. And the answer from me is no, you're not the real Cizetta, because I've just got past you. Now leave me alone. I think that might be the Celine. And then we got a BMW M3, I think. And an Aston DB9. Oh, I just got punted. Oh, good lord. These guys are aggressive. There's an Aston Martin DB9 ahead of me. Avian, yeah, you say your extent is knowing the colour of the car. I mean, I'm not an expert, don't get me wrong. I like my machines, but I'm not like an expert anorak on them. Oh, just got away with that. I thought I was going to hit the beam and like crash my car, but I just about skimmed it and got around it. No such luck this time, no. This is the problem with this circuit. It's a very handling circuit. And my car's not a handling car, it's a speed car. Mainly because the tyres just stopped working. It's like, I've got grip, I've got grip. I've not got grip. I don't have grip anymore. It's very much like that. But you just have to adapt and survive. I've no idea what car's in the lead, actually. It looks unusual, to say the least, whatever it is. In fact, I wonder if that's... I'll need a closer look here, but it looks obtuse. And an obtuse-looking car gets my attention. Oh, I know what car that is. That's a Spiker. From Holland. Yeah, I think it is the C8, because it had that on the registration plate, Joe. So I think you're right. Yeah, that was much better cornering. I had much more consistent grip through the corner then. I'm hoping that for this I get something really nice, like a classic Aston Martin, a classic Jaguar, or a even like a TVR. I want a proper nice sports / supercar. Meanwhile, Fraran Jogo saying from Brazil, waving. Good evening to you, mate. How are you doing? I don't know Portuguese, so I can't greet you in Portuguese. I know a little bit of Spanish, if that'll do. Other than that, good evening to you. Estás bien? I think. Oh, ow. Straight into the barrier. Not a good way to drive. That's a pretty poor way to drive a car. So it's a nice looking car, this is that, I'll give it that much. V16. When you need a few more valves, put 16 in. Oh, bugger hell. Like, have you ever seen those videos where someone's trying to review a car and they're like, it's not turning, I'm still going straight, this is the worst understeer I've ever seen? I'm kind of like in that ballpark at the moment. Once the tyres start to squeal, I'll just go straight forward. It's kind of realistic if you got no grip, if your car's tyres are squealing, they're not going to be gripping, so it makes sense. It's just annoying. Yeah. That braking point was totally wrong. I was not even close then. And that time I went too close to the wall. I got too greedy. So, for those of you who've watched a few episodes of my streams, I don't like this circuit. I especially enjoyed doing 94 laps of it in the Jag, didn't I? Yeah, that was a fun night. For all of you. All you heard was me moaning about lack of traction and no ability to turn and tyre problems. And you're all sat there sipping soda going, that's right, keep moaning. And I did. So many car manufacturers in this game which haven't come back though, like Lotus and Oh, it's a shame that they're gone. Gone, but not forgotten. But we might be able to win this if we're careful. We're almost there, people. Just got to be careful I don't celebrate too soon and spin myself into the wall. I was right to put the medium hards on though, because the tyre wear has not been, the tyre grip has been quite poor, and that means unfortunately burning your tyres out. Gran Driftismo from Pretamaniacs. It's not what I'm aiming for, but it's not far off actually. The Jaaaaaaaaaaaag V16 is not exactly got the poise and the pointing of, say, a Ferrari F40 or a Porsche 911. It doesn't quite have the same sense of class. It might be Italian, but it doesn't mean it's poised. Still, apart from taking a bump to the wall, we should take victory with any luck. But anyway, good evening to you, Prater. How you doing? Yeah, 7 seconds on a 5-lap race. That's not bad. Yes, there it is, the Jaaaaaaaaaaaag V16. Looks poised and beautiful. Drives anything but. It's a bit of an animal, to say the least. So, how many other races have we got left on this then? Let's find out in this tournament. I don't think there's many left. I think there might be 2, possibly 3. No, there's only 1, but we're going to Hong Kong. This is a circuit I'm really not looking forward to in this car. This circuit is not going to be fun. This is where it's going to be very, very difficult, to say the least. And oh my god. Look what car's in third. The TVR Jaaaaaaaaaaaag Speed 12. Known more commonly as the tractionless behemoth. It's one of the most ferocious cars to drive. The Jaaaaaaaaaaaag Speed 12. It is absolutely insane to drive. You call it the death machine, Joe. It's not far off. I once took it for a ride round the Nürburgring. I've never had more seat of my pants experience in my life. It was a car that fought back quite heavily. That was an unintentional success, and surprisingly the TVR has got quite a lot of traction here in the hands of the machine, the computer. Maybe they know how to use it, I don't know. And then we've got the Pagani Zonda in first, so we've got 2 extremely exotic cars. And yet I've blown past it like it wasn't even there. That's a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Yep, brakes just didn't work. I went straight on them. I'm going to have to brake at 150 metres there. That's much further back than I'm used to braking. Much, much further. I do love the idea of this circuit, but my god is it hard to drive. Good fun though. So the idea of driving around the harbour with the walled city of Kowloon on the horizon. The only reason I know anything about Kowloon is because it featured in Shenmue 2. That's literally the only thing I know about it. But yes, amazingly, everyone's being very well behaved at the moment. I'm kind of surprised. I expected this being a night street circuit that's quite tight. There's quite a lot of accidents, but now everyone's been good. And there's a couple of cars way off the pace for some reason. The Speed 12 road car, I don't know if it was banned, but it was certainly a very expensive machine. It did briefly run in British GT, I think. Perry McCarthy might have even drove it once, but apparently it was just an absolute animal. I say TVRs were bonkers though. TVR were one of the more unusual car companies here in the UK. I would love to actually own a classic TVR, you know, like a Griffith or a Chibera or a Chimera. And Farron, you're playing GT5. I never got around to playing GT5. However, I might one day do it because RPC3 can run games from the PS3 at 60 frames per second. So I might possibly do that at some point to see what the crack with it was. I understand many people found it quite a disappointing game, but I don't know because I never played it. I never had a PS3, so I went to play the likes of Forza 4 instead. No, Joe. TVR as a company now don't exist. They were bought out years ago by someone from Russia, I believe. Released the Cigaris, which was an amazing car, and then disappeared again. I mean, you can get cars used second-hand on the second-hand market, but that's all you can really do with it. The actual car company themselves have long bit the dust, and they were based in Blackpool as well. They were a supercar company from the west coast of England. In fact, there's a feature that Top Gear did years ago with Clarkson, Hammond and May, where they drove classic British sports cars and tested them against hatchbacks of the era, and they actually went to the remnants of the TVR plant, and it was kind of interesting to see because of all the weird things they had. It was very much it had a very old school culture in many ways. Some ways it was endearing, in other ways it was massively out of touch at the same time, if you know what I mean. It was one of those. A bit like squaddy humour. The same kind of thing applied to their car making, apparently. Yeah, there's Rolex being advertised. I have no idea how easy it is to get parts or not, Joe, because I don't have a car, so I can't comment on that. But there are a lot of enthusiasts still knocking around, so it's worth doing. As we enter the hairpin corner, and once again we go wide because of the way the brakes lock up. I've cooked the brakes, I've cooked the chassis, I've cooked the steering column. Everything's completely burnt out by the way I'm driving this car. But we might be in a position to win the race if we can just navigate this last lap safely. He says as he crashes into a wall. Oh, that's amazing, Avia. So I'm sure we can sort all that out when the time comes. Let's get things sorted out firstly. Main thing being, getting my holidays booked. I'm not booking anything until I'm actually allowed to go. One of my colleagues once did that. Booked a trip before they'd had it authorised, and the company were like, we can't release you for that time. And it ended up going through a massive headache to sort out. Fortuitously, it was resolved. They managed to come to an agreement, but they always say don't book anything until you've got the time, because you never know. No, that's not too bad, Avian. Say mine's... I don't know when mine opens officially. I was able to put the request in, but I don't know if they have any rules on when they can authorise them, if you know what I mean. So I guess I'll find out. I mean, it might be a case of waiting until later in the year, who knows. Again, it's one of those where, as long as you're reasonable with it, they usually allow things to proceed. Right, let's see. We've completed it, so what's our prize card going to be? It is a... Oh, nice! The Ford GT Road Car from 2005. That's a good prize for this event. That's on point. That's good. I like that. That's brilliant. That's fantastic. So, question now is... that I've not got the car for. I can't do that one yet. Upon the phone a Digital X Cup. I'm certainly not going to take my Suzetta VG T16 valve. That's not going to work. But I can take my Nissan RC89. Beautiful. I love the side skirts on that car. When it spins back around, I just love how the rear tyres are completely encased. Must have been a nightmare to change in the pit stops though. I don't quite know how that works. So I'm just keeping an eye on the time, making sure we're not going to go... oh, standard or sports tyres required. All cars are permitted, but standard or sports tyres. Oh, that's interesting, Jay. You can't buy that car without the stripes, so it's special because it's not got the... Right. Am I going to do it, people? Shall we put sports hard tyres on just to see how ridiculous this car is? I get the feeling that you're not supposed to enter in a car as powerful as this. I don't even know if it's going to be possible to drive. I get the feeling the car's going to be absolutely undrivable. But we're going to have fun with it. We're going to see. All cars permitted, standard or sports tyres required. Okay. It's the start of a tournament, and we begin with 6 laps of the Twin Ring Mategi. Even everyday cars can look tough, and I turn up in an RC89. This is going to be silly. It really is going to be silly. I can't see this car being remotely suitable for it. Oh dear. Oh, this isn't going to be fair. Oh my god. I've turned up to a water pistol fight with a fire truck. That's what's happened here, people. I should go back and get into my Ford GT. I should be fair. A Honda Fit is taking on a Nissan R89C. This is silly. Let's brake ridiculously early, we're going to need to. This is going to be an embarrassment. As I say, I've turned up to a water pistol fight in a fire truck. Or one of those water cannons used to douse rioters. Either way, this isn't fair. When I was at Play Expo last year, I ended up playing a tournament for the video game Doom 2. And somehow came second in my qualifying round, which got me into the final 4. And that won me a one-on-one deathmatch game against John Romero, the creator of the game. What I'm doing now is as unfair as when I had to face off against the creator of Doom at his own game. That's what's happening here. I am John Romero, and I am reaping the souls of these players. They said everyday cars, but I didn't expect the likes of the Honda Fit and the Mercedes. I expected at least, you know, like the hypercars, like the Pagani Zonda and the McLaren SLR and the Cizetta V16 and the, you know, the Honda NSX, and you know what I mean? Nope. Does anyone remember when I did the classic car tournament and a Citroen 2CV was randomly in it? That's what this feels like. The only way I'm going to lose this race is by multiple crashes. So by keeping it on the island, keeping it nice and smooth, dropping my effort very much to 1 of 5, we should easily dominate this. So the prize car can't be anything special. It can't be. Watch it now be like, you know, the PlayStation Pescarolo Judd or the Toyota GT1. As you say, Avian, all is fair in love and war. So the big question here is, will the tyres last? That's the big one. This is an absolute annihilation. I apologise for all you people in the audience who are getting a bit bored with this one. The lack of competition in this one is real. A Group C Le Mans car up against standard road cars. You might as well have kids equipped with pea shooters against someone with a 50 cal sniper rifle. So basically, we'll have a Queen 32 tennis playing Mass Effect. And if you want to know more about what I'm talking about there, go and check out the Let's Play on her channel. Yes, there it is. It's the Honda Fit, or as we know it over here in the UK, the Honda Jazz, and it's completely out of its class here. Tell you what, let's give you a bum draft. Let's make you go faster than you've ever gone. Was that me being a bully and humiliating it? Oh yes, yes it was. we are getting very, very much further into this and doing what we can to dominate the field. That poor Honda Integra never really had a chance. Oh, whoops. There we go. There you go. I'll give you a chance to catch up, people. Right. Your chance is gone now. Goodbye. All these people in the crowd are like, why am I watching these Sunday drivers suddenly being obliterated? What's going on here? They all think it's like some kind of weird one-lap magic event. The answer is no. It's just me being a troll. It's like turning up in the online lobbies on GT7 driving an SRT Tomahawk. For those of you who've not driven the SRT Tomahawk Axe, trust me, it's ridiculous. I've got a video on my channel, it's like 20 seconds long, of a car that is just absolutely broken. It's the fastest thing alive. It's absolutely ridiculous. Give me a slipstream, will ya? I said a slipstream, not a bump. Fine. I'll take the hit, don't worry about it. Hey, Mr. M3 driver. How's the view back there? At the end of this race, we're probably not going to finish this championship tonight before the stream ends, but we'll certainly come close. Do at least one more race of any luck. Oh, a bit too deep there, but we'll get away with it, just about. Excellent, okay. I've done quite a decent amount of miles in this car because, well, this car's awesome. It's probably the best car I've got at the moment. We saw the torture it took to unlock it by doing the driving mission 34, but it was worth it. The moment I saw this car, I was like, oh my god, yes, game changer. And so it's proven to be. Oh, is it going to finish 2 laps behind us? It is! Plus 2 laps. Oh, yeah. 2 laps behind. Ow. That is ridiculous. That is silly. So we move on to the second race. And that takes us... Oh, the Seattle street circuit in this car. Oh, God, this is going to be hilarious. This is going to be silly. This is going to be ridiculous. The sight of this Calsonic Nissan getting behind these cars is ridiculous enough, but it's going to get worse. As we race between the lights... People looking on from the bridge wondering what on earth they're watching here. Watching from buildings, and here we go. Time to take on the jumps. This is hilarious. Oh, nonsense. Make your decision, people. Tell me in the chat. Because I think this is the most unfair I've been for quite some time. This car is simply way too quick for this field. Probably way too quick for this circuit, to be perfectly honest. And what should be an enjoyable street car challenge has instead become an absolute annihilation. As you say, yep, game said all cars allowed, so there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. It's just it might seem a bit unfair, but game allows it. I've gone, yep, that's fine, I'm allowed. Here we go. Heading for the line. Have we gone any faster this time? No, we have not. I thought oh, the Honda Fit's there already. Having said that, I don't think I'm likely to lap him twice, so there's some pace found here after all. Around the outside of you because I'm being a troll. I'm going to put N1 tyres on this just for a laugh. Just to see how bad that would be, but I can't go and buy tyres now, I'm stuck. That would have been a kind of cool little handicap. Meanwhile, good evening to Queens. They made it for at least by the end. Indeed you did. Good evening to you. How are you doing? You having a good night? Hope so. Well, good day where you are, I suppose, isn't it? But I'd say, so far tonight's been quite interesting. We've had some very cool races. We also brought back the troll cars because Exetel hadn't seen them before. I think they were appreciative. Right, just for that, you're giving me a tow and I'm blasting past you. So you're tired and glad your day's over. Well, that's fair enough. That's work for you, isn't it? It's in the rear view mirror for now. We'll see what happens later. As we are blasting around Seattle, high speed. Yeah, you say the car's more grippy than expected, and I agree with you. It's not sliding as much as I thought. It's still struggling, but it's not struggling as much as I expected. I'm really quite surprised, pleasantly surprised actually. Pleasantly surprised that the sports tyres are hanging on the way they are. Because yeah, Queen, basically in this tournament we have to use sports tyres. So I still kept my Le Mans car, but I've just put sports tyres on it. And as you can see, I'm annihilating the field. It's like Le Mans prototype go boo. So you're cheesing mobs on Final Fantasy 16, are you, Queen? That'll be me tomorrow night as I try and get closer to the end game. So for those who've got a PlayStation 5, do check out Final Fantasy 16. It's better than I thought it was going to be. I expected it to be a bad game, but having played it, I've actually really enjoyed it. Although I will say this, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, take a shot for every time it does something directly from Game of Thrones. I guarantee you'll be pissed within half an hour. Get out of my way, you slowpoke. Yeah, that's fine, Queen, no worries. I was going to say, because I'm nowhere near as far into it as you. Because I've just not played it, not played it as much, but that's cool. So it's one of those games where you want to talk about things, but you can't because of obvious spoilers. You don't want to be one of those people who spoils something for another game on your stream. At least I don't, anyway. Yeah, that wasn't even close to being a race. We lapped the field, it was easy. So, we've probably got time for one more race before we go off for the rest of the night. As you can see, we are 20 points, we are ahead of the championship, but then considering that we've probably got about 5 times the horsepower as most of the cars, we've got downforce, we've got lower weight, we've got racing gearboxes. We've got 1,000,001 advantages. Let's be honest here. We have tons of advantages. I could put ballast in the car to make it tougher, but why would I do that? I'm not doing that. So we're doing 8 laps of Infineon. Well, we could qualify, but there's no reason to. Let's do the stock car course. This will be interesting, actually, because this circuit in this car with sports tyres will be a big challenge, actually. I'm actually looking forward to it. But yeah, this is just not fair. These poor lambs to the slaughter. I was so fast, I hit that car because I didn't have control. I actually couldn't get out of the way of it because the computer didn't give me control of the car in time. That's the sheer gulf in speed here, people. See, he's gone off the circuit. And I've gone past him. So as you can see, we've bypassed the inner loop and we're already onto the back part of the course where we can essentially attack it. Yeah, the high-speed grip in this car just is not there, which is not much of a surprise on sports tyres. Yeah, it's mostly the washout on the understeer. That's the main problem with these tyres. The rest of it's holding up fine. Yep. Just got to keep on attacking. So with these races here, there's not much really to say. You just got to go on with it as best you can. Yep, not bad. New fastest lap, and there already is the Honda Fit. We've caught it up. That's right, stay way off the racing line, get out of my way, obey the blue flags, that's good. More of that please, computer, much more of that. Oh yeah. Oh no you don't. You're not turning into me. You made the mistake, don't think you're taking me out. Yes, that would have been a little dirty trick from the computer. Not that I've used no dirty tricks against it, of course. On the inside, see you later. I was waiting for the right moment to pass it. Picking your way through the traffic can be one of the most difficult skills in this game because of the racing lines that the computer takes, and you just have to be, it just has to be annoying to get past it. Once you're clear, you're fine, but you just got to get to it. I still managed to set my fastest lap though, which is kind of ironic. Yep, there he is, the person in second place. That was probably one of the better apexes I've taken for that corner, surprisingly. On the worst tyres. Well, not the worst. The worst tyres at N1. They're truly dreadful. You get the chance to drive on those tyres, say no. Just don't. Nice. And there's the Honda Fit driver again. That was alright. I gave him a little love tap off the track then, which was a bit not very cricket of me, but you know, we managed to get through. It's alright, no big deal. So we are on to the final lap at the moment, and we're steadily getting quicker, surprisingly. Not a bad little way to finish up for tonight, is to have a nice, relaxing, chill out, blow away the field stream. even if we do go lawn mowing. Because it wouldn't be one of my streams if we don't push the rules too far the wrong way. There we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. As I say, it's just not very fair. The car I'm in is just so overpowered compared to the opposition. It's an absolute joke. I am mocking them in the way I'm doing this championship at the moment. I am taking an open urination over all of their efforts. And am I sorry? No, of course I'm not sorry. Right, so we'll quickly just back out here for now, and it will take us back to the menu screen so we can start here when we return. So, with that in mind, we are through another race in this particular championship, the Polyphony Digital Cup. So that is where, for tonight, we are going to wrap things up. We have managed to take our way through in the classic car, in the sports car championship, got ourselves a lovely Ford GT, won ourselves another Skyline pace car by winning another tournament, which was a bit of a disappointment, and of course we found another track that the Motorwagen can't get up the hill for. So we are going to be back on Saturday evening at 8 PM BST when we pick up Wild Arms 2, because I've had to move it back a day due to a meeting I've got on the Friday evening. So until then, thank you all very, very much for watching. And even with sports tyres, they don't have a hope.